Hey guys, Eddie here from Dilleen Property. Today I want to do a really quick video and it's about a question that someone asked me the other day. The question was, should you buy a one-bedroom unit, or do you think it's a good idea to buy a one-bedroom unit? Or should you only stick to two-bedroom or three-bedroom properties in general? So we'll talk about just buying units for this video, and I've done a couple other videos, whether it's depending on if should you buy a house, townhouse, a unit, the differences and all that kind of stuff, and pros and cons. This video here is all about one-bedroom units. Should you buy one-bedroom units? And it's a very complicated, I guess, question. There's lots of things to consider. I've bought one-bedroom units in my portfolio. I've got 2 one-bedroom units in my portfolio of 10 properties. So my property portfolio, I've got houses, townhouses, units, villas, and all that kind of stuff. Out of those, there are 2 one-bedroom units. Some of the things that I've learned to look out for, I guess, and going to the question, is it alright to buy one bedroom unit? My answer, plain and simple, is definitely yes. Of course, it's alright to buy a one-bedroom unit, depending on the property itself. Some things that I would steer away from and not purchase if it was a one-bedroom unit is things like properties like a high-rise. So if you're purchasing a one-bedroom unit in a high-rise and there's 500 units in that complex, I don't like buying things like that. One-bedroom units have really high strata body corporate fees. If you're in a massive high-rise, then odds are you're going to have really high body corporate fees or strata fees and rates in general. Depending if there's elevator, pool, all that kind of stuff. So that's one thing I would not really do. Another thing is buying a one-bedroom unit. That's important. You've got to really look at the size of the unit itself. In terms of finance, for finance purposes, I know for a fact that lots of different banks have different rules and policies. Most banks, if it's a one-bedroom unit, it has to be over 50 square meters to be able to get finance for it. Some banks, if the unit is under 50 square meters, they won't actually allow you to do finance. Some other banks, which I know lots of different banks now that do different things and the different back-end policies and all that kind of stuff, which I've learned over the years, which is very, very important. Some other banks, it has to be over 40 square meters, and some other banks you can buy stuff under 40 square meters, but it just restricts your loan to value ratio, basically what deposit you can do on it. So for example, one of the properties I bought was under 40 square meters. It's the smallest one I've ever bought. It's a one-bedroom unit, and at the time it was like my 3rd or 4th property purchase in my portfolio, and I was going to do a 10% deposit, but because it was under 40 square meters, the lender which I actually chose to go through said you have to do a 20% deposit, and the maximum LVR, loan to value ratio, will approve you for buying a property of this size is 80%. So instead of doing a 10% deposit like I wanted to do, I had to basically come up with more money and do a 20% deposit. So some pros, that's a downside with buying properties that are, I guess, smaller. Sometimes depending on the size of it, you have to come up with more money up front. And some banks won't touch them at all, other banks will, so it just depends which one's going to work best. So that's another thing, I guess, in terms of the size that you've got to look out for when buying a one-bedroom unit, if you choose to. Number 3, I guess, would be, some people are scared that one-bedroom units won't go up in value, and they definitely go up in value. They go up in value with the rest of properties that are out there. I know one-bedroom units that people have bought for $100,000 6-10 years ago, and now they're worth double or triple the price. So if you look at one-bedroom units, for example, in Parramatta, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, you probably could have got a one-bedroom unit for under 100 grand. Now one-bedroom unit is around Parramatta, probably 300, 400,000, some 500,000, whatever it is, depending on the quality, of course. But one-bedroom units definitely go up as well. They do have a smaller size parameter, I guess, in terms of that, but they definitely go up in value, and you get rental yield and all that kind of rental income, of course, as well. But yeah, I guess that was the question. Should you buy one-bedroom units? It's definitely okay to, provided the numbers work and provided you buy something that's in line with your strategy of what you're planning to do. The one-bedroom units was I bought two of them. They've been some of the best buys of my portfolio, and I've actually had better growth in some of those than I've actually bought houses in other areas. So some of them outperformed houses in that sense. And I bought another 1-bedroom unit in the heart of the Gold Coast. So I bought that for like 160,000, 169,000, and that rents out for about $300 a week. And from the time I bought it 3-4 years ago, it was 160. Those things are worth like 220,000, 230,000 plus now. So I've had a massive amount of growth just in buying the right property in the right area, and not limiting myself to say I only want to buy houses instead of units. So I've diversified in that sense. But yeah, 1-bedroom units, it's definitely something you can make money off. And if you're looking to get started in property or just get something small to get your foot in the door, if you buy a 1-bedroom unit in a good quality location, it can definitely go up in value, and you can create equity and get started with a smaller amount. So there's a lot more different things to, I guess, be clear, to, I guess, try to identify about 1-bedroom units. But I think we'll leave it at that for now. If you have any other questions, please email me through, and I'll catch you next video. Thanks, guys. Bye.